CEO and founder of R Protocols and the event head of the 2 days International Virtual Hackers Fest, Winzala. Firstly, I would like to thank all of you for coming to this event and for showing you all love and support. And also, I would like to thank our promotional partners, Zero Day Crew, Avic Stand, Beta Programmer, and the Cyber World, and our community partners, Alien Room, Invetech Global, Cyber Upgrade, and Mission IT Education for showing extraordinary support to this event. And I'm sure this event gonna meet all your expectations, and beyond that, this will be really fun, informative, and valuable. And hope you enjoy this fest. Thank you. And to start with, we have our first speaker, Karthikeyan. He will be presenting about recon and content discovery.
Hi guys, this is Karthikeyan. I am the founder and CEO of Capriccio.6 and cybersecurity company. I am an ethical hacker, cybercrime investigator, and also a bug hunter. You can find me on Google and Instagram by using this username. I also hacked into Google, Snapchat, Pinterest, and a lot more. I also got listed as #1 hacker in Hero program. Now let's get to the video now. I have come here to discuss about recon for web hacking. Recon is a process of reconnaissance of subdomains from the main domain to get a huge scope of target. Now we will move with subdomain enumeration. Subdomain enumeration is a process of enumerating the subdomains from the main domain. For this, we will use this asset finder tool, which was developed by Tom Nom Nom, and it helps us for enumerating a huge number of subdomains for us. Now let's copy this command and paste it in our terminal. This tag subs only is the keyword for mentioning the subdomains. I'll copy this and paste it in our terminal. We will use the example as yatra.com as a target, and we will give this output as domains.txt. I'll execute this. Yeah, it's over. Now let's list this directory. See, it has been over. Now let's view this file, domains.txt. We can see the subdomains here. A lot of subdomains are listed here. So it's so useful for us, and it has been a time saving factor for us to give a huge number of subdomains within a few seconds. This is why we are using this tool. It has a smaller thread process for giving this larger output. Now let's clear this and let's move to the next tool for subdomain enumeration. In this we are using 4 tools. Now let's go to the second tool, find domain, which is also a subdomain enumeration tool using APIs. Find domain, we will copy this command. Tag T mentions target. I will clear this and paste this command. Tag T, I will use the same target as yatra.com. Yatra.com. We will execute this. See, it has been searching in the APIs to figure out the subdomains. Now let's wait for some seconds. See, it has given us the output. It has given total of 155 subdomains. So this will give another amount of subdomains from a different tool. So we will gather a smaller amount and a larger amount of subdomains from various tools. Now let's get to the next tool, sublister. This is also a subdomain enumeration tool. It's also very helpful for us. Now let's copy this and let's move to the directory, tools directory. Choose this sublister and execute a command. I will copy this command. Tag D mentions as the domain, tag domain. use this tag. We will use the same target as yatra.com itself. Now we will execute this. See, it has been searching in various search engines like Yahoo, Google. We'll wait for some seconds. It will give some another amount of subdomains which we don't know. So it will be helpful for us from various domains. So it has given some of the output. You will gather this all output and merge it into a single file at last. It has given a different subdomains from the different tool. Okay, let's clear this and let's move on to the next tool. This is the subfinder. Subfinder is also a subdomain enumeration. Tag D mentions the domains. Now we will move back to a directory subfinder. Now let's execute that command. Same as yatra.com. See, it has been enumerating subdomains. Let's wait for some seconds. See, it has given us the output. It has found 173 subdomains in 13 seconds. See, it has a powerful and it will save us the time so much. This will be helpful for us while hunting for bugs. The process will be reduced in a very large manner. If we do it manually, the time will be killed by simple process will kill so much time. So we use this recon for that to find bugs. Now let's go to the next, live sites. How to find live sites from this subdomain list? We will use this cat command and HTTP probe. HTTP probe is also a tool which was developed by Tom Nom Nom. It helps us to find the live sites. We can't manually enter that URL and find out whether the site is live or not. So we are using this and finding out which are the sites are live. Now you will use this cat domain.txt and a pipe and HTTP probe. So it will list out the live domains. See, it has been listing out the live domains only, HTTP and HTTPS. If we want, we can also list out only HTTPS by using the port number 443. We can give only HTTPS. Also, we can grep from this. See, we are getting a list of live domains. So the time here has been saved by manually entering it. We are moving on to the automation process. So the automation helps us in various processes. Let's clear this. So this is how the subdomain enumeration is done and the live sites are being found. Now let's get to the next. Remove duplicates of subdomains. Yeah, the subdomains list has some duplicates which are gathered from various tools. So we will remove the duplicates. We will use the same cat command and pipe sort tag u. By using this command, we can remove the duplicates from the subdomain list. Okay. See, the duplicates are removed and only the original ones are here. By this, the same domains can be removed from this. This will help. This will also help us while reconning. Now let's clear this. Now let's get to the next screenshot of the site. Yeah, we know the site is live. We don't know whether the site is 404 or 403, whether it's a forbidden site which has a sensitive info or a 301 redirect. So we use this screenshot tool which is known as Aquatone to find out whether the site is a live site and also a working site, which is a fully developed site. Which some domains will be a developing site, which has not completely developed. So it will helpful for screenshot and it will help us to view the site. Now let's use this tag aquatone. It has been started. Wait for a few seconds. Yeah, it has been started. See, the targets as listed as 147. The ports open has also been shown here. 8000 port is open, 8443 port has been open. See, these sites are listed here. Do have a screenshot in a local file in a directory. We will have a directory as aquatone, and in that directory we will have the files or have the screenshots of this URLs. Okay, some have been listed as 500 internal server. Some have used the request mode as the server has been given the request using the the server has not been responded properly. Some sites have been listed as 403 forbidden also. So it will be useful for us. Only the live sites and the working sites has a screenshot and it will be saved in a local file as aquatone. Now let's get to the next part, directory brute force. Directory brute force is essential for bug hunting, and also it is it's an important one. We can find sensitive information from the directory brute force, and we can find the less traveled path using this directory brute force. Here we use the dash search. Dash search is a tool for directory brute forcing. We will use these extensions. I have a list of extensions here. Tag E means tag. It's mentioned as extensions. Tag U mentions the domain. Now let's copy this command. Now we will set the target as yatra.com. Let's execute this. Sorry, my bad. I will go to the directory. Tools directory. Yeah. Here we will using the directory search. It will brute force the directory by the one-on-one subdomains. By using the subdomain directory brute forcing, we can view any other tools. Sorry, any other tools? No, not any other tools. We can view any other extensions. You can give your own extensions also. It has a default extensions of 5 or 6 extensions. See, the word list has 16,699 word list. Has a thread size of 20. So the process will be medium fast. See, we have also got /net/cs JavaScript ASPX. So it will be useful for us. Maybe some sensitive informations are here. I don't know whether it is there, but we are getting a 308. 308 means permanent redact. Maybe there will be a sensitive information. Maybe there will not a sensitive information. I don't know about that. But if we use this, we can get a sensitive information. This is YML is a sensitive information file. The config file also. Sometimes it contains the username, password, like that of many sensitive files can be found using that. Now let's get to the last one, parameter fuzzing. Parameter fuzzing is done to get a measure of attacks. Now the major attacks are covered by injection attacks. So by injection attacks, we want to find parameters. But to find parameters, you can't go manually and search for a single site and list out the parameters. So using this parameter fuzzing tool, Param Hunter, I have developed this tool for my purposes. I had also posted this on my GitHub page. To use this Param Hunter, we will move to the directory tools. We'll paste this command. You will use the domain as yatra.com itself. So I'll list this once again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the tool has been executing. This helps to brute force a large number of parameters which has been a hidden parameter. We can't see it manually. It will find out and it will dig out from the last file. So this heck of process will be finished within a second. This is why we are using automation in these tools. I have written this tool in two languages, Python and Bash shell scripting. Now let's wait for the output. It has been taking some time. Yeah, the output has been came. See, the parameter has a keyword as fuzz. It will be fuzzing all the keywords, all the parameter headings using this keyword fuzz. Now we have got a lot of sort parameters. Like this, we will get different types of parameters. We can inject XSS, SQL, and a lot of injection attacks can be done on parameter. By this, we are getting more possibilities of attacking and bug, or attacking the site. By using SQL can be used here. Maybe the site uses SQL database. If we use the SQL, if it gives an error, we can find SQL injection here. So it will be very useful for us for parameter fuzzing. This parameter fuzzing is doing the major process of a human. So let's clear this. So this is how the subdomain enumeration and the total process recon is done. Using this recon, we can do a lot of things. Like what to tell? The huge process of searching manually is done by a single click. That's why we also launched a tool in our GitHub page named Devnal. It has been a helpful tool for all our friends and our students. See, here is my GitHub page. See, this is my Devnal. This is a package of recon in a single click. These all tools will be merged as a single tool called Devnal. It will help the process for a faster purpose. We are doing this automation for a faster purpose of reconning, and this helps the time. This helps to save the time. Using this, we can do a recon within a 20 minutes time, and we can concentrate more time on hunting. So this is how the recon for backing is done. We, the team of Capriccio is so happy to be invited for this virtual conference and to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation, Karthikeyan. And now we have Timur Guvenkaya presenting about attacking JWT tokens.
Hi there, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm glad to be here. And today we're going to be covering some common JWT vulnerabilities and the ways we can find and exploit them. Some stuff about me, you can read my random titles. I also like playing CTFs and trying to be less ignorant every single day by learning new things. You can follow me on Twitter at ntguv and my LinkedIn also. I'll be posting some security related content on there. These are the contents that you can read, and let's begin. JWT is a method of transmitting data securely between two parties inside of an JSON object, mainly used in authorization or if you want just to transmit data securely. Consists of 3 parts separated by 2 dots. With the first part is the header, the second part is the payload, and the third part is the signature. You might have already recognized the pattern in here. Header and the payload both start with EYJ. When decoded, become curly bracket and double quote. And everything is base64 URL encoded. Why URL encoded? You might ask. That's because regular base64 encoding does not play well with the URL format, because it might contain characters such as plus sign, equal sign, or slash. The most important part in here is the signature. Signature gives us integrity. It prevents people from tampering with the token. Because when token is sent to an application, it gets verified. And only then the data is read. A header contains some metadata about the token, such as the type, which is JWT, and algorithm, which is HMAC, in this case, HS256. And you might ask how it's verified on the application side. On the application side, it's basically verified in a way that everything is base64 decoded. Application ensures that header and the payload are valid JSON objects. By that I mean they follow the JSON syntax. And also application parses the algorithm. Header ensures that it exists and verifies that the signature here is generated with respect to that algorithm. And also after everything, claims are verified. By claims I mean those like sub, name, admin. Those are claims. We have 3 claims in here. Those are just the pieces of information. And there are reserved claims, such as sub, that are part of the JWT, and those are custom ones that we have created. Some of the reserved JWT claims are in here. You can read through them. They all have a meaning, so it might be a good information to just read through them so that you understand what they mean when you see a token that contain one or more of them. Before performing any attacks or checks, first we have to detect JWT. Mainly JWT is located in those places. You can check them, like JWT might locate in a cookie, then token, an authorization header, an authorization bearer header. And first of all, you can just take a look at the token and see whether it actually starts with EYJ. Then there is a dot, then it starts with EYJ again, and dot anything. I mean, that's the first check you can make just to ensure that it's actually a JWT token, but obviously the better way is going to be is to actually decoding a token and then seeing by yourself that it is actually a valid JSON object, and it has the header and the payload, and header has an algorithm parameter. So let's begin actually hacking and checking some vulnerabilities. That's the most basic one, when the signature is not verified. Sometimes in some libraries, there are 2 methods. One of them is decode, the second one is verify. And both mean different things. Decode, it's just, as you might have guessed, it's just basically base64 URL decoding the token, but it's not verifies it. It does not verify the signature. And sometimes people might mix them up and use decode instead of verified, which basically introduces a vulnerability. You can tamper with the payload, as in here, we just escalated privileges of John Doe to become an admin, and since signature is not verified, it's accepted. That's all. And also sometimes developers might have disabled it to do a quick debugging or some testings, and they forgot to reintroduce it back. That might be a reason also. And how it can be exploited. Basically, get the JWT, decode and tamper with the payload. Depending on your token, the part of the payload you might want to tamper is different. For instance, in the previous case, it was logical to tamper with the admin part to actually make it to true, so become admin. In your case, it might be different. Then encode everything back and send JWT back. And if there are no errors, everything is super well, it's profit. Non-algorithm vulnerability. JWT can use different algorithms to sign a signature. Some of them is HMAC, RSA, elliptic curves, and the non-algorithm, which means basically I don't want to sign a signature. And you can directly just change the algorithm to none and strip the signature. Change anything you want inside of the payload, send the JWT back, and it's going to get accepted. And if application is not actually accepting the none, you might try different variations such as lowercase, other cases, or just a capital none. How it can be exploited: get the JWT, decode, and change algorithm to none, encode back everything, and strip the signature, send JWT back, no errors, profit. You don't have to actually tamper with the payload in the first run, so that it's easier for you. You can just directly change it to none. If it actually gets accepted, then you can change some stuff in the payload afterwards. Because there is, it doesn't matter if you change something in the payload and it does not work, so it's better to just change the header for now. And in case of errors, just try none, none, or none. By all of them, I meant like capital one, lowercase one, and mixed case one. So let's move on to algorithm confusion vulnerability. We have symmetric and asymmetric encryptions. HMAC is a symmetric encryption. It means that a signature is signed and verified with the same secret key. RSA, on the other hand, is asymmetric. It uses the private key to sign and public key to verify the signature. In order for us to exploit this vulnerability, two assumptions have to be true. The first one is we have to have a public key from the application. We cannot do anything if we don't have it. Public key can be in a JavaScript, can be on some random path inside of the application. Sometimes we won't be able to find it. In that case, we cannot exploit this vulnerability. Another thing that has to be true in order for us to exploit it, but unfortunately we cannot check it before we actually try it, is that the backend of the application is not checking the algorithm, the value of the algorithm parameter going into the verify method. We expect RSA, but we are not actually checking that the algorithm parameter is RSA. We just expect it. In that case, there is like a super common function, super common method to verify the signature. It's just like this. There is no checkings or whatever. Like when you are signing with HMAC, you know that it's HMAC, so you're putting a token, and since the token is signed with HMAC, you put as a second argument the secret. You know the token is signed with RSA, so you're putting RSA public key, but there are no checkings, I'm repeating, in place. So what happens is that we are getting a token, we are decoding it, and we have a public key from application from whatever, we found one. And what we do, we change the algorithm to HMAC, assumingly like our algorithm is RS256, we're changing to HS256. Then we are signing this token with the public key as a secret to HMAC. We're basically just signing this token with the public key from the application. And when this token goes to application does not check that it's actually an HMAC going in, and this token goes inside in here. It's signed with the public key, and the method looks, oh, it's actually HMAC. And since it's HMAC and the application verifies it with the public key here, this public key is actually treated as a secret of HMAC. In that case, we are basically using HMAC in here instead of the RSA, and we are bypassing the signature. Basically, we are using the public key as a secret to sign and a secret to verify. Because of this, we can bypass the signature and do whatever we want. We can change the admin to true, manipulate everything, and now we are an admin. Here is how it can be exploited. We can get the JWT. We basically we decode everything and change the algorithm from RSA to HMAC. Encoding everything back, signing the token with HMAC, with RSA public key as a secret, encoding everything, sending JWT to the application, no errors, profit. Trivial secret vulnerability. A signature is as strong as a secret used. We can crack this signature with one valid token. If we have a secret from the signature, we can forge as many malicious tokens as we want to. This link is super nice. It contains the list of the most common JWT secrets you can use for brute forcing. How can we exploit it? Let's get the JWT token. Let's have a list of common secrets, and then let's re-sign this token use the header data, the payload data, and use the key from the list, maybe from that GitHub, as a secret to sign this token. Then we're gonna check if the signature that we generated with respect to data of that JWT matches the original signature from that JWT. If they match, that means the secrets match, because you cannot have the same signature with different secrets. Then we found the secret. In that case, we can tamper with the payload, change anything you want to, and then just basically re-sign with found secret and send our token, no errors, profit. So let's move on to KID injections. JWT header can contain the key ID parameter. It's used often to retrieve the key from the database or the file system. Since the verification of the signature happens after the key is retrieved, because you obviously have to have a key to verify this, this parameter is injectable. You can inject anything you want to trigger RC, SQLi, or LFI on the application. How it can be exploited? Just get the JWT, inject stuff. Yeah, just inject stuff to KID and see how it works. Inject some code injections, inject something, and you might see a weird behavior inside of the application, and that might lead you to some thoughts on how to exploit it further. There are some more specific ways to abuse key ID to actually bypass signature. Since it's injectable, we can try some directory traversal. And if it's prone to this, we can actually, instead of just the key one in this case, to put the directory traversal to devnull. And devnull is just an empty string, and since we know that key ID fetches the secret, in this case the secret is going to be an empty string. That means what we can do is to actually use, since we know the secret already, we are trying to redirect the application to the place that we can predict the value of. And then we can use that value as a secret. Because we don't know the actual value of the key one, but we know the value of the devnull, which is an empty string. And then we can use an empty string to sign our malicious tokens, and we can do whatever we want. Again, we can change John Doe's privileges from admin false to admin true and make him an admin. And how it can be exploited, that's a basic case. Actually, the next one is more advanced, but it might be more useful in my opinion. So basically, let's get the JWT, append a devnull payload to it, and then we can use an empty string as a secret to compute our signature. Let's base64 encode everything, sign, and send our malicious token. No errors, everything is well, and that's an advanced case. Sometimes you won't be able to use devnull as a key ID. It happens a lot, but websites always have some static files that we can predict the values of. So what we can do is to pick any static file from the website, let's say with .css, and get its value. Let's append path to that CSS file to the key ID parameter through directory traversal. Now we can use the value of this static file as a secret to compute our signature. Let's encode everything, send over the malicious token, no errors, and profit. So here it is, key ID injection plus SQLi, signature bypass. Same concept as in directory traversal, but in this case, key ID is prone to SQLi. It might be prone to SQLi because key ID sometimes is used to retrieve the key from the database. And the same concept also because we are trying to return a value that we can predict or know to sign our malicious token. In this case, let's check this example together. We have a key ID which is equals to key 1, and let's assume the application fetches it from the database. Here you can see an original SQL query which is select key from keys where key ID is equals key 1. Super simple query, everything looks super nice. Then we, as a malicious actor, gonna just put this SQLi query, which is gonna get translated to this. Select key from keys where key ID is equals to XXX, and union select AAA. Small typo in here, don't mind it. In this case, since XXS is not in the database, the value from this query is going to be AAA. And then therefore value of the key ID is going to be AAA. And we can use then AAA to sign our signature. And that's all. That's how we can bypass and do anything we want to. If you're wondering why it's actually returning AAA, select without from basically generates the value. That's why. Okay, how can we exploit it? Get the JWT, append this query, SQLi query to KID parameter if it's actually vulnerable. Then we can use the AAA as a secret. You can put anything you want in here. You can put hello world, whatever you want. Name of your dog. Just put anything you want to, like put the name of your favorite dish, for instance. And then base64 encode everything, sign, and send all malicious token. Don't forget to actually encode, do the URL safe encoding. I'm not mentioning it here, but I'm thinking that you already learned it. And no errors, profit. If it does not work, you can try this one, Basically, this means comment out everything afterwards. Okay, let's move on. JKU header. As a part of JWT header, JKU might be present. JKU basically means JWK set URL. URL where JWK resides. JWK is a JSON web key, basically the JSON object of the cryptographic key, of the public key. Here you can see the N and E, those values. N is a modulus, E is an exponent, and by combining those we can generate a public key, RSA public key. So how it works? This one is just a regular JKU usage. You're sending a request with JWT, application parses and extracts JKU header. Then it follows that JKU, basically it's a URL, it follows that URL to the JWK, fetches JWK, that public key basically, JSON objectified public key, and then the application parses it and verifies the signature using that JWK and sends a response back. Everything seems okay, super simple. And when we actually move to attacking this, you as a malicious actor, cool guy, you're gonna send a request, but you're not gonna just send a request. You're gonna send a request with malicious JKU that points to your server. You're gonna be hosting your JWK. For that purpose, before everything, you have to generate RSA private and the public key. I'm gonna be touching it a bit later, but let's just say you're sending an application to your malicious server with your malicious JWK. Application just fetches it, parses that JWK and verifies signature using your malicious public key and sends you a response. It's not actually touching the legit server. And how we can exploit it? First, we need to have a preparation phase. To exploit this, you have to have a JWK in this format and have it residing on the host that is exposed to the internet, so that our application can actually fetch it. You have to do it only once, to be honest, and then you can have the link something like this, for instance, where your JWK is. To generate the N and E values, you have to first generate RSA private key, then you're gonna compute N and E from the public key, and then you're gonna put those values inside of your JWK. And that's the preparation phase of this. And let's go to the exploitation part. Is pretty straightforward. We're gonna get the JWT, replace JKU header with our URL, with our malicious JWK, base64 URL, encode everything, sign with your RSA private key. We can do this freely since we're going to be signing with our private key, and the application is going to verify with our public key, because we replaced the JKU to point to our server with our malicious JWK. And send your token, no errors, profit. And unfortunately, it's too good to be true. In the real world, usually there is URL filtering in place that just prevents anyone from redirecting an application to a malicious server. For that reason, you can use some techniques that are listed below to bypass it. I did not include more techniques because otherwise the presentation is going to be a bit lengthy. So the first one is basically if the application checks if the URL starts with trusted. Basically checks if starts with trusted. In that case, you can use @character to actually point to your host. In that case, it's not going to be trusted.com/key.json. It's going to be not.com/key.json. That's the way to bypass it. One of the ways, if the application just checks if it starts with. And you can chain with open redirect also. So let's see how you can attack JKU through open redirect. You're going to send a request with your malicious JKU combined with open redirect. Then application is going to just extract JKU header, gonna try to go to fetch it from the legit server, but unfortunately, because of the open redirect, it gets redirected to the malicious server without JWK. It's gonna fetch our JWK and verify the signature using our public key and send the response back. And how it can be exploited? I mean, if you detect open redirect and the application follows it, you have to be sure if it actually follows, otherwise there is no point of doing this. Let's get the JWT. If JKU header obviously exists, you have to continue, otherwise, I mean, there is no point. Replace JKU header with open redirect, like this. For instance, you have a open redirect in supersecure.com redirect URI, and instead of a valid link here, you're gonna put your host. And then you're gonna take everything inside of here and just put it inside of the JKU. Application is gonna just follow this open redirect to your host and fetch the JWK. Then you're gonna base64 encode the data, basically header plus payload, signed with RSA, encode everything, and send a token. If everything works, super, perfect. You just chained JKU attack with open redirect, and you bypass the signature. Congratulations. And there's a conclusion. I did not cover all of the techniques available because I didn't want this presentation to be a university lecture because it's going to be a bit lengthy. You can use this tool to conduct many of those attacks. For instance, non-algorithm or key confusion through this amazing tool. And you can read, actually, it's a Python script, read it, and you may learn more about the actual implementation of the JWT and how you can sign and verify the tokens. And thank you very much. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter at @ntgov and LinkedIn, Timur Guvenkaya. Because I'll be posting some security-related content on there, and you don't want to miss it. Thank you very much. Again, have a nice one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation, Timur. Now that we have Saeed, Bala, Ahmed presenting about career opportunities in cybersecurity.
Hello everyone, I am honored to be a speaker in this event today. This presentation is an introduction to the growing field of cybersecurity and how to get started in the field of cybersecurity. Talk of the day. The topics for discussion today will be introduction to cybersecurity. We will take a look at what cybersecurity is all about on this topic. And then next on the list is why choose cybersecurity. On this topic, we'll discuss reasons why someone should start a career in cybersecurity. We'll also take a look at how to get started. How does one get started in cybersecurity? What are the requirements a person needs in order to start the journey of becoming a cybersecurity specialist? And last on the list is going to be cybersecurity job roles. We'll also look at the job opportunities that are available to someone who's interested in cybersecurity. Introduction. I am Saeed Bala Ahmed, aka Robots Gang. I'm a penetration tester, a security researcher, content developer at Sevmore Security, and also the CTF team lead at Invitec Global. I am Guru on Hack the Box, and you can reach out to me on Twitter or on Instagram with Robot Gang or at Robot Gang. What is cybersecurity? We all know someone who's been hacked or we've heard in the news the rate of which people or companies are hacked on a daily basis, leading to the exposure of user information. This is the main problems internet users face, and that is where a cybersecurity specialist come in. What is cybersecurity? The question is asked again. Well, cybersecurity is the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks. It's also known as information technology security or electronic information security. Cybersecurity can also be defined as the use of skills and techniques to protect network, systems, and data from attacks. Why cybersecurity? We all know cybersecurity is a growing market that will continue to expand, with new technologies being developed each day and opens up more vulnerabilities to learn about and exploit. I've been asked this particular questions many times. Hello, Robots Gang. How did you get started in cybersecurity, and why did you choose cybersecurity? There are so many opportunities out there. You can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, because I'm good in hardware too. And then I've been asked this question so many times. Well, the reason why I love hacking and I encourage people to hack is because I have the passion for learning, and I believe that it gave me a purpose. That's purpose to learn and grow to become a professional. Each exploitation technique I learn is another motivational aspect to learn and grow more. From understanding the back-end concepts of systems and their structures, conducting vulnerability assessment, then gaining my first shot on the target system, it brings acceleration and allows me to focus on growing further by expanding this knowledge in cybersecurity. Getting started into cybersecurity. How does one get started? First on the list is learning the basics. You will need the basic knowledge in networking, general systems management, which include learning how to use the Linux operating system, basic coding skills, and a lot of free time. Even though free time is not a skill to learn, but you definitely need that if you want to start a life in cybersecurity. Next on the list also is online courses. Take online courses with the most reputable companies who have been in the system for a long time. For starters, I would recommend CEH courses from EC Council. And when you are introduced into this field by this starting courses from CEH or eLearn Security, then you can go for advanced courses like PTP and PTX from eLearn Security, and also OSCP and OSW from Offensive Security. Constant practice, which is number 3 on our list. Yes, definitely, we all know constant practice is actually really needed here. Taking the course without constant practice won't get you anywhere. Remember, diamonds go through rough processing stage before they become the precious stones we all admire. You need to practice day in, day out. You can practice and polish your skills on online platforms like TryHackMe, which I recommend for starters, and then Hack the Box for seasoned professionals. Even though you can join Hack the Box with new skills, but you actually have to, in order not to be in a mess or like to get stuck along the line, even though getting stuck along the line in pawning a box is also part of the learning progress. But our advice when you're new to Hack the Box, if you're new to cybersecurity and then you jump right straight into Hack the Box, take some time off to watch IPSec videos on retired machines. And then once you get comfortable with how to use the tools, then you can jump on to pawning active machines. We also have Get a Mentor. Make time to talk to seasoned pros. Ask questions about cybersecurity. Try as much as possible to learn from them. Remember, a problem shared is a problem solved. Talk to someone who's already in this field and is an expert in it. There's so much you learn from your mentors than you will learn from online courses or from your day-to-day practice. Well, with this is just the basis into getting started into cybersecurity, the basis of getting started into cybersecurity. Do I need to know how to code? Well, this is a tricky question I've been asked many times. In order to get into cybersecurity, or in order to start hacking, or in order to get into hacking, one can learn without coding knowledge through automated tools like Metasploit and SQL Map. But if you are faced with a real-life scenario where an exploit script is outdated or uses wrong libraries, or for example, wrong Python version, then you will need to learn how to code in order to modify the script to be able to exploit the target. So coding skills are 100% necessary in order to advance in cybersecurity trade. It'll take time, but it'll take time to learn coding, but surely you catch up if you dedicate time and work hard on the coding aspect. Remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Which side should I focus on? Red team or blue team? Well, red teams are internal or external entities dedicated to testing the effectiveness of a security program by emulating tools and techniques of likely attackers in the most realistic way possible. Red teams are offensive security professionals who are experts in attacking systems and breaking into systems. Or I could also say red team or red teamers. They use a variety of methods and tools to exploit weakness and vulnerabilities in a network. It's important to know that red teams will use any means necessary per the terms of engagement to break into a system. Depending on the vulnerability, they may deploy malware to infect the host or even bypass physical security controls by cloning access cards. Blue team. Who are blue teamers or what's blue team all about? Blue team consists of security professionals who have an inside view of the organization. Their task is to protect the organization critical assets against any kind of threat. In blue team, you focus on developing ways to stop attackers from gaining access on a network. Your sole priority is to defend the network from attacks. Blue teamers perform tasks like risk assessment. Blue teams perform risk assessments by identifying threats against each asset and the weaknesses these threats can exploit. By evaluating the risk and prioritizing it, a blue team develop an action plan to implement controls that can lower the impact or likelihood of threats materializing against an asset. For example, a blue team may identify that a company's network is vulnerable to DDoS, which is distributed denial of service attack. This attack reduces the availability of the network to legitimate users by sending incomplete traffic requests to a server. Since this attack can severely cripple a network, as a blue teamer, you will have to find ways to prevent these attacks from happening. On the next on our list is going to be job roles in cybersecurity. Who is a security architect? A security architect is someone responsible for designing, building, a security architect is someone responsible for designing, building, testing, and implementing security systems within an organization's IT network. A security architect is expected to have a thorough understanding of complex IT systems and stay up to date with the latest security standards, systems, and authentication protocols, as well as the best practice of security products. Security architects build and maintain security systems and networks. They prepare budgets, oversees expenses, and allocate personnel resources as needed. Security architect also provides guidance in information technology. Security team, I'll go over this again. Security architects provide guidance to information technology. Information technology, which is IT, security team members, and they are also the lead IT analysts, security administrators, and security engineers to coordinate effective security protocols. A security architect is also responsible for threat modeling. And with regards to the salary of a security architect, I know that's what most people, or actually not most, but a whole lot of people focus on. The average annual salary of a security architect starts from $122,000 in the United States of America. I'm pretty sure that's it. And then the next on the list is a penetration tester. Penetration testers, also known as ethical hackers, are highly skilled security specialists that spend their days attempting to breach computer and network security systems. These testers work in the information technology IT field to ensure that cyber criminals cannot access data in an organization. They do this by trying to hack into the networks to identify potential vulnerabilities in the system. This professionals simulate cyber attacks in order to identify and report security flaws on a network or computer systems and infrastructures. As a penetration tester, your duty as a penetration tester will involve you will perform authorized tests on computer systems in order to expose weakness in their security that could be exploited by criminals. As a penetration tester, you can work for a company or just be a consultation firm or a consulting firm or your own business, which is freelance basis. And they are also penetration testers are also responsible for making sure that the staff within the corporation or your institution are trained and won't pose a threat by conducting social engineering where required. As a penetration tester, you do a whole lot of hacking because you have to mimic the real life scenario in which attackers will use in order to break into a system. So, as a penetration tester, what you do is that you use tools in order to try and then break into a system, thinking like a black hacker. And we all know black hackers are malicious hackers. So, you actually use tools to try and break into a system, find the vulnerabilities, break into the system, and actually make a report, and then give it out to your organization. If you are fortunate to be a freelancer too, what you have to do is you have to wait and then people come and contact you. You go into contract, negotiate the terms and conditions, then they'll give you the platform to hack into their database. Well, actually, not database as such, but just into their network. The next on the list is going to be malware analyst. Who is a malware analyst? A malware analyst examines malicious software such as rootkits, bots, worms, and trojans to understand the nature of their threats. This task usually involves reverse engineering the compiled executable and examining how the program interacts with its environment. The analyst may be asked to document the specimen's attack capabilities, understand its propagation characteristics, and define signatures for detecting its presence. A malware analyst is sometimes called a reverse engineer. A malware analysts work closely with other security team members, example, security analysts, architects, and administrators. They help design softwares to protect both hardware and then software assets in the organization. So large corporations in non-security industries also hire full-time malware analysts to help protect their environment from attacks or respond to incidents that involve malicious softwares. So the duty of a malware analyst is that in case of let's assume in a situation where a system has been compromised, where the attacker drops payloads and then other malicious softwares which are not supposed to be on the system, your duty as a malware analyst is to pick up those softwares which are left behind, even though it's actually really bad in the phase of hacking. Once you have access to the targets and then you are done with all that you're supposed to do, it's always important to clear your tracks. That includes clearing logs and then deleting all files that you actually put on the system. Just in a case where a hacker forgets to take off all the files he left on the system, that's where a malware analyst comes in. You pick up the files, you reverse engineer them, probably find IP addresses that could trace back to the attacker, and then help document this findings that you found. And you can also, after your reverse engineering, you may be able to find traces, or shall I say signatures, of which the malware was developed on, and you can use that to probably build up your antiviruses which you guys run on your system, so that in case something like that is dropped in the near future, it will pick it up and it will take it off the system. Digital forensic analyst. Who is a digital forensic analyst? With the increasing rate of cybercrimes, the need for forensic computer professionals who investigate data breaches, security incidents, and criminal activities can't be overemphasized. Sorry. A forensic analyst is someone specialized in retrieving and analyzing data, network traces, and other evidences from computers, networks, and data storage devices. Those devices may be physically damaged or corrupted accidentally or intentionally. The results of the investigation may be used as evidence in criminal investigation to resolve a business or legal dispute, to uncover specific targets, or detect suspicious activity. So the goal of a computer forensics is or the goal of sorry, let me go over this again. The goal of a computer forensics is to examine digital media in a forensical sound manner, with the aim of identifying, preserving, recovering, analyzing, and presenting facts and opinions about digital information. So the annual average salary of a forensic analyst ranges from 74,000. It starts from $74,000, and I think I forgot to mention about the annual salary of a malware analyst. That starts from 68,000 going in the United States of America. Then next on our list is a bug hunter. The job profession bug hunter or the security specialist bug hunter. Who is a bug hunter and what's the role and duties of a bug hunter? Well, bug hunters consist of hackers, security enthusiasts, or professionals from all walks of life. Some of the best bug hunters that I've actually met have no formal qualifications but hold passion for finding bugs in the system and web servers. Not all bug hunters get paid but are actually enrolled in bug bounty programs such as HackerOne or Bugcrowd can be um, can be massively compensated for their findings. Well, actually, you don't actually get paid all the time when you find a bug. Sometimes you are just added to their Hall of Fame and then you are being acknowledged. And they find pride in showing those kind of activities. Like I can say, I found a bug in Google, and then Google has acknowledged me on their website. They've added me to their Hall of Fame, and that's a big achievement. Even though I don't get paid in cash, but having a profile like that on your CV is something very great and it will help you in the long run. Bug hunters. Well, to continue on bug hunters, we can see bug hunters test applications and platforms to find bugs. Once a bug is found, these professionals inform the company or the concerned body behind the application or the platform about the bug, and in return, they get paid. Just like I said, the benefits are not always monetary. You don't actually get paid all the time in cash. A bug hunter is just a freelance hacker that finds defects and exploits in code. The most prominent skill bug hunters learn is web application hacking. Okay, so the next I have here is resources, and the resources to keep you moving in cybersecurity. With the resources, I'll start with online courses. Like I said from the start, I mentioned earlier on, starting a course at various institutions that have been in the system for a while. For starters, I said it earlier on, I recommend CH courses from AC Council, EJPT from eLearn Security, and once you get the good or the solid foundation in this field, then you can advance to PTP and then PTX, which is Penetration Testing Professional and Penetration Testing Extreme courses from eLearn Security, OSCP, and then OSWE from Offensive Security. Follow InfoSec Peep, which is number 2 on our list. There are many InfoSec experts out there, and find their social media handles and then follow them because they will keep you updated on their findings, achievements, and also the latest trends in this field. Next is read InfoSec blog. Many cybersecurity researchers, especially bug hunters, they write blogs on how they found and exploit a vulnerability. Having access to these informations, which is found on various blogging platforms, will enlighten you on how to exploit these vulnerabilities in case you come across them in your cybersecurity journey. Constant practice. I mentioned constant practice on the start too. And then with constant practice, remember from the start, I mentioned platforms where you could join to practice and polish your skills in cybersecurity. Platforms like TryHackMe, which I always recommend for beginners or starters, and then Hack the Box for seasoned pros. Or you can also check out More Security, which will be launching very soon. We have a hacking platform where you can join and try. You can join and then try to hack into the labs we have in there. Practicing all the time will increase your knowledge and skills in this field. And the more you practice, the more you have everything stick into your head. And there's one thing I think I failed to mention, which is keeping notes. It's always good to have a cheat sheet. It's always good to have a cheat sheet. I have a cheat sheet with all the commands I've used and even commands I've not used, but I know one day I may need them. It's good to keep a note where you have all your commands stored in. You can't keep everything in your head. No matter how much you try, you can't keep all the commands off head. Just get a simple note. I usually use Cherry Tree and I save all my notes in there, which contains commands I use in pivoting to PowerShell to there are so many commands you actually use in cybersecurity or in doing hacking. just have a note and then keep it all there. So once in a while, you can refer to your notes and then pick up the command you need, or just refresh your mind and continue whatever you're doing. Join competitions. Participate in competitions. I recommend you participating in CTFs. CTFs will increase your problem solving, problem identification and solving techniques. You can enroll and compete in CTFs. You will enroll and compete in other hackers around the world, gathering points to earn prizes or just bragging rights. These competitions are challenging, and then you will learn new skills when you try them. There are so many CTS which are being held annually by a group of individuals or maybe a company or an institution. But there's one which always comes in once in a while, and I know about that, which is Pico CTF. They launched one recently, and I think it's still up, which is Pico Google. It's Pico in association with Google, if I'm not wrong. They have 20 challenges so far, but you can try the Pico CTS starting from 2017, 2018, and then 2019. They are still out there, and then it's free. All you have to do is just register and then start practicing, get your tools, and then start practicing. Make sure you polish your skills, and that's all that's needed in this field. Thank you very much for joining me today. And I'm Saeed Bala Ahmed, aka Robot Gang, and I'm pleased and happy to work with you all today. Thank you once again. I appreciate. Stay safe.
And thank you for your wonderful presentation, Saeed. And now we have Aravindan. He will be presenting about open source intelligence.
Hi, this is Arvind from Puducherry. So I'm here to share my knowledge on the topic of open source intelligence, which is basically uh, the starting point on the field of cybersecurity in profession. So before jumping into the topic, let me introduce myself. So yeah, I'm the founder and CEO of a startup company which is called a Cyber Hub Infotech. It's a cyber security based company. And I was recognized as the youngest successful entrepreneur and CEO of Puducherry. And I was also the member of National Cyber Safety Security Standards, which is an organization uh, on the motive of safeguarding the nation from the current threats in the cyberspace. So I was one of the member in that, and I have secured more than 20 major companies to develop their security standards. And yeah, I have educated more than 12,000 students in the field of cyber security. Not only students, I have trained more than hundreds of government officials to develop their security standards. And this was basically about me. So let's jump into the topic. So what we are going to learn today is what is open source intelligence and where can we use them, is one of the topic, and what are the types of open source intelligence, as well as why we should use that. And for a practical knowledge, we have the sources which contains plenty of website as well as tools to perform the open source intelligence. And we are going to see about the mitigations, which is basically the solution for crimes happening in the field of cybersecurity, as well as what are the laws for it. And yeah, we can move into the topic. So, what is OSINT? OSINT is nothing but, as said before, it is an open source intelligence, which refers to the any informations, any kind of informations that are legally available in the public sources, like we can gather from newspapers or from internets, or any kind of medium which is legally available. So this is called as open source intelligence. So we call it as it is the point where a normal person becomes an hacker. So yeah, where we can get these resources are like, not only the information that are found on the internet, like social media platforms or any other websites. um,
the information that are available from books or articles or any kind of public medium such as speeches as well as webinars, any kind of informations that are gathered from public medium falls under the open source intelligence. It is moreover used in government as well as finance field, and mostly it is used in cyber security field. So these were the place where open source intelligence are used. And yeah, uh, so basically there are two types of open source intelligence, which are namely offensive and defensive. So offensive open source intelligence is moreover like gathering the information before the attack, gathering the information of a particular person or an organization. And defensive is that learning the attacks against the company, which is used to defend those kind of offensive attacks. Yeah, these were the two types. Basically, these were the two types of open source intelligence. In depth, we have further classifications like human intelligence, which is basically used by MI6 for government officials. Um, they use this human intelligence to gather information about the cyber criminals as well as a person whom they want to. And the other thing is signal intelligence, which is basically used to gather information from the signals, any kind of signals, whether it may be a radio signal or any kind of signals, using hardware devices like hack RF1 or a software defined radio or any kind of signal capturing signal receivers. And the next one is geographical intelligence, where the officials used to gather information from the satellite images to cover the geographical informations. This were one type, and the other one is measurement and signature intelligence, which is basically used to gather information about nuclear attacks as well as electro-optionals or frequency and chemical materials. And these were one of the division. And the other division is that cyber intelligence, which is basically used to gather information about the cyber attacks as well as logs. So these were the classification on open source intelligence. So why open source intelligence is that it allows you to gather huge amount of actionable intelligence without ever sending a packet of target. That is, we can able to gather information about a particular person or an organization without the knowledge of them. So we don't have to have a active contact, or we don't want to have an direct conversation with them. So here in open source intelligence, the point is that we can able to gather information from public resources which do not affect the target directly. So this is why the open source intelligence is used, and also it can be used to crack the passwords as well as to perform some social engineering attacks based on the informations gathered. Some of the commonly gathered informations are pet name or date of birth and place of the target. So these were the basic informations which is to be gathered for any kind of attacks from the target. And yeah, this is why the open source intelligence is used. And next is that what kind of informations do I expect from open source intelligence? So there are few divisions among them. At first, we can talk about people. So if we take people, we can gather informations like their names, usernames, email, phone number, as well as geographical locations and much more informations. So these were the commonly gathered informations about the people. And next one is IP. So if we take the IP as a target, we can gather informations like whether it is a proxy or a VPN connection or a Tor connection. And also we can gather information like whether it is an internet of thing device, like IoT device. And we can able to gather informations like download histories of them. So these were the common things. So next is a domain. So if we take a domain as a target, we can get the informations like subdomains of that particular main domain, and MX records, which exposes all the records of the domain, and we can able to perform the port scanning as well as who is lookup. So who is lookup is basically to look up the informations of that particular domain, and other basic informations like gathering MAC address of a particular device and images of a organization or a person and Bitcoin addresses, vehicle numbers, etc. So these were the basic information that I can look from open source intelligence. And end goals like what can we do with those informations is that like if we take on offensive way, we can able to perform social engineering attacks, DOS attacks, password brute forcing, target infiltration, user account takeover, as well as identity and data theft. So these were the basic place where the offensive approaches occurs. So these were the end goals. And yeah, here we come to the source part, where we can able to get the informations of people or an organization from specific search engines like Google, which is a most commonly used wide search engine. So this can be used to gather informations, and the other search engines are like Bing is one of them. So Bing is also a most commonly used search engine. So here when we think of getting anonymous, we can use DuckDuckGo, which is basically a common web browser in Linux based systems. And yeah, finally we have Yandex, which is also a search engine, um, which has a huge amount of informations. So these were the search engines, like commonly used search engines to perform open source intelligence. And next is like if we take an person as a target. So what are the informations we can gather from a person is that like name, username, emails, as well as. So if you take on email category, there are certain tools and websites that helps us to gather information about the target. So some of the popular tools are like the harvester, which you can get free from GitHub, and Prawl is one among them. So these two are the tools which you can download from internet for free, obviously. So some of the websites are like Have I Been Pawned is one among them, where you can check whether the email ID of a target has been breached or not. So if it has been breached, then you can search the breached data from the Ghost projects, which is one of the website which provides the data breached from the other websites. So these were the sources where you can get the email IDs and password of a target if it has been breached. So the next is Google Docs. So basically, Google Docs are used like a filter process. Like it can be used to categorize the information, or it can be used to take a particular information or filter a particular information from the whole internet. So some of the commonly and popularly used Google Docs are in URL, in title, in text, file type, and site, where in URL is used to gather information. If we specify a word along with the tag in URL, it brings us the links which contains the specified word in its URL. So likewise, in title brings the titles which contains the specific word. So and in text file, in text also one of them. And file type, yeah, it is used to filter the specific type of file from the internet. And the next one is site, which is used to serve or browse on that particular site only. So there will be not an extra or third party informations. So these were the basically commonly used Google Docs to gather informations. And the next one is domain, where we have plenty of websites as well as tools to enumerate it. So some of the tools which helps us to enumerate the subdomains are like sublister and virus total. Like sublister is a tool where you can download it for free from GitHub, and virus total is an online website where it gives or provides us the subdomains of a target domain. And who is who is used to look up the information from the domain. And mx lookup brings us the records, any kind of records of that particular domain. And vaporizes gives us the information about the background technology and front-end technology of that particular domain. So these were the sources when we get a domain as a target. And the process of open source intelligence is that at first we identify for the sources, like which was mentioned above, where you can find the information of a target like a person or an organization, then harvesting from it, like extracting the data relevant from the target. And the next is data processing, which is processing the accurate data and getting the meaningful information, like which is essential. And next is analysis. It is basically like joining the data which is acquired from the different tools and platforms, and joining in them. And the final one is reporting, where we can finalize the informations gathered. So these were the basic process of open source intelligence. And so some of the commonly asked questions are that is open source intelligence are legal? So open source intelligence is not an illegal activity until you crosses your limit, like impersonating impersonation or social engineering. Yeah. Um, if the motive of the open source intelligence is to perform social engineering attacks, then it is completely illegal. And buying of breached data from dark web is also a illegal activity when it comes to open source intelligence. And next is stalking someone with malicious intent. Um, if the intention of you to stalk someone from the information gathered, then it is an illegal activity. So without doing this kind of activities, you can use the open source intelligence legally. And yeah, now we have the giveaway. So I have provided an open source map where you can gather information from the social platform like LinkedIn, which provides plenty of informations which are required from the target. Like since it is a business based platform, you can moreover get the curriculum vitae of an target, where the informations like where the basic information of the target has been provided in it. So I have attached those map with the presentation. And next is here you have two giveaways. um, Open source intelligence handbook is a book which contains more than 8,000 websites, online websites, which provide you the informations about target, like any kind of informations, whether it is a person or an organization or IP, any kind of medium. Yeah, I have attached with this. And we also have a cheat sheet, like what are the informations to be gathered if our target is a person, and what are the websites associated with it or attached with this presentation where you can use it. And yeah, these were the giveaways, and here we come to the end of the topic. So I hope this lecture would give you a clear way about open source intelligence. So if you have any kind of queries, you can ping me on social media platforms mentioned at any time. As said before, hope this would give you a clear way on open source intelligence. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation, Aravindan. And now we have our last speaker for today, and we have Pragadeesh Babu. He will be presenting about how companies perform web application penetration testing.
Hello everyone, this is Pragadeesh Babu here, founder and CEO of ETA Infotech. Glad to meet everyone in Winzala 2020. And for today's session, we are going to see about how companies perform web application penetration testing. So we move on to that. Penetration testing. So what is a penetration testing? Penetration testing is like scanning a system or any web application to find any flaws, and we'll try to exploit it, and we'll see about the countermeasures in it. So basically, what we'll do is we will scan a system or we'll scan any web server or any application in a server which is hosted, and we will find the flaws in it, and we'll try to exploit it, and we'll report it. So what pen testers will do? So as a penetration tester, we have a couple of things to do, and first we'll see about networks and it is architecture. So networks means something like if any misconfiguration in a firewall, some firewall is missing some inbound rules or outbound rules, or flow of traffic is not configured correctly, or like that, we'll check for that. And second thing is we'll check for servers and its applications. Um, servers like if suppose it is a if it is hosted as a mail server, we will check if there are any misconfiguration in the servers or any services related to it. So like that, and if suppose suppose if it is as a web server, and we will look out for it that if it is, has any open ports, some suspicious ports or something like that, and we'll try to find that, and we'll try to exploit it, find the ports, and we'll try to exploit it, and we'll report it. And the next thing is it applications hosted in the servers. So same thing I said, same as the web applications which are hosted in the servers. We'll try to scan it and we'll find the exploits, and we'll report to it. So penetration testing is a basic thing that it is we'll find the flaws before the hackers find it, and we'll try to before the hackers will exploit it. So we'll find the flaws and we'll find the vulnerabilities before the hackers, and we will patch those before the hackers will try to hack into our systems. So as a penetration tester, we should be updated with all the latest updates of every threats, every vulnerabilities, and every CVE records. So it is a most important thing for a penetration tester, because we have to interact with the applications, so that if we don't know about the vulnerabilities or any threats, any worms, so we can't report it, and we can't able to find those vulnerabilities. So as a pen tester, you should be updated with the knowledge of threats and viruses or everything else. The next thing is that you should be thinking out of the box. So as a pen tester, you should be thinking out of the box. You should be thinking as like a hacker. So consider if you are if consider if you are consider if you're doing a pen testing in a server or anything else, you should be thinking of out of the box. So in that way, you can get an idea of how the hackers will get into its system, and how they will be trying to exploit the system and gain access to the systems or anything else. So penetration testing, it is not just scanning systems and uh, preparing report and sending to the clients. No, it is not like that. It is called as vulnerability assessment. What we are doing is scanning system, scanning for open ports or scanning for vulnerabilities and reporting it. It is not called as pen testing. It is called as vulnerability assessment. So what is pen testing? So pen testing is that we will scan for systems, any flaws in systems, any vulnerabilities in systems, and we'll try to exploit it. So why we're doing this is uh, if you consider if you're using some automated tools like Nikto or anything else, it may be a false positive. So we don't what to say, we can't say that yes 100% the expert will be working or anything else. So to confirm that, we should be dealing it with manual approach. So if you consider if you have any if you find any flaws like SQL injection, we should manually try injecting the queries into the database, and we should check whether it is really vulnerable to the SQL injection attack or not, and then we should move on to the next process. So why should we conduct pen testing? Why it is important for a why it is important for an company or any organization to conduct pen testing? So conducting pen testing will helps to prevent the data breach, and if suppose consider if a hacker is trying to hack into a database, and he finds what to say he finds some user tables like having consist of usernames and passwords, and if the passwords are not encrypted, it might be a easy way to hack into systems and to get all the credentials. So like that, it helps to prevent data breaches, and it helps to keep our system secure and anything else. Steps in pen testing. So in pen testing, there are some similar steps. Uh, First, we have to find the vulnerability and which type of vulnerability it has, what type of vulnerability it has. We have to find that. And second thing is that we have to design an attack. So design an attack means it is like similar like exploiting the system. So using the found vulnerabilities, we have to design an attack, or we have to do some manual recon anything else, or enumerating for information anything else, and we have to use those informations to exploit those systems. So this is called as designing an attack, which is similar to exploiting. And the third thing is determine the risk of an attack. So we have to determine if suppose we are having a vulnerability in our server as remote code execution. So RCs are most critical vulnerabilities in us in any server. So it should be noted, and it should be patched very soon as possible. So every vulnerability should be reported as it is severity level. Some some clickjacking or some some reports what to say might not be very clear to the clients, so we have to increase the severity like that. So every vulnerability which we are going to report should consist of risk of an attack. So this helps to uh, understand understand how this helps to understand how the attack is what to say how the severity of the attack is. So we should be adding that too. And the final stage is that patching the vulnerability. So patching the vulnerability is most important thing, and this is the main thing of conducting pen testing, right? So you have to patch the vulnerability itself too. So finding vulnerabilities is there are many ways. So to find the vulnerabilities, some of the methods are subdomain elimination. So consider if you are going to conduct pen testing for an organization like Amazon. So what we're going to first do is we first try to find all the subdomains in it. So what is subdomain? Subdomain means Amazon.in. Okay, let me show you that. So this is a domain name, which is Amazon, and we'll go for subdomains. And to find the subdomains, some similar tools, a couple of tools, right? And some of tools are virustotal.com. It's a website-based tool. You can just go to virustotal.com and scan for the Amazon.in site, and you can find the subdomains of it. And there are some similar tools for which you can install in Kali Linux or Parrot OS, which is a sublist or something, tools like that. And I'll show you in virustotal.com. We scan for Amazon. After going to the virustotal.com, go to the URL tab here and go to the address which you're going to scan. You're going to scan Amazon.in. Okay, I think the URL is wrong. Give me a second. Not here. Amazon.in. After the URL, and we'll go here. Paste the URL here and hit search. So after searching it, click the domain name here, Amazon.in, and go for relations. And when you scroll down, you can see that there is a listing called siblings. So these are the subdomains which Amazon.in consists of. There are many more else. So it keeps on loading. Okay, these are subdomains which Amazon.com uses or Amazon.in uses, and they may have some individual personalities. Sorry, some individual purposes, which something like academy dot, which may be used for academic purposes, and account statuses, which helps to identify the account status of order tracks, anything else, something like that. Amazon API, some APIs like that, and everything else. And we also some similar tools like Sublister, anything else. And DNS Dumpster is also another website for scanning subdomains. DNS Dumpster. DNS Dumpster. Is the site here? Error getting results. Let's try this without it. Okay. Got something here. Amazon.in. Okay, you can see that we have enumerated some information like DNS records. These are the DNS records of, sorry, NS records. These are the NS records of the site, and this is the TXT records. See, it has a SPF record. This SPF record is used for mailing to check whether it is a authenticated mail or not, and it has some similar domains like www.22 or drone.amazon.com. Drone, okay. Music.amazon.in. So like that, you can admit lots of information like um, using this DNS dumpster website or virus.com website. So let's move on to this. Uh, So next thing is the directory brute forcing. So directory brute forcing is that consider if same as Amazon.in site uses some directories which may be left vulnerable. So consider if they are, hold on for a second. Okay, okay, screenshot. Okay, consider if directory brute forcing, and let's take a scenario of Amazon.in again, and we found some similar what to say some similar folders like upload or what to say some accounts or admin or folders like that. So like these type of folders should not be exposed in public because the admin folders may contain some what is it, some confidential files or some confidential data which should not be accessed by the user or by the public. um, these type of directory brute forcing, what we can do is we can try to find the directories which are present in the server, and we can manually try to what to say we can manually try to open those files using the browsers, and we can try to manipulate in that. So we can do that, and some tools we can use for that is derby and Derby and Derbuster, all the tools are pre-built, pre-built in Kali Linux or Parato is anything else, and you can just give it a try for the tools too. And coming to the CMS scan, CMS means content management system. There are many CMS available in the internet. Some famous CMS like WordPress, Joomla, Django, like that. Not Django, Django's a framework. Joomla, like that, you can use you can see many frameworks or many CMS in the internet, and some WP scan tool helps to scan the WordPress sites, and it gives the detailed information of every what to say everything which um, site contains, which it may be an plugin used in, and it what themes are present in it, and what type of database are using there, and everything else. It can be found using those tools, and using the tool. I'll show you an example of that. We'll go to Kali Linux. So this is my Kali machine here, and we'll go for WP scan and give -h for help options. And you can see here it has a couple of many options here. And what you're going to do is we are just going to give the URL parameter here and go to give the site name WP scan hyphen URL site name URL. Just give the site name and hit enter. It will be scanning for that, and it will scan and report all the things which are present in the site. What are the themes, what the theme names we are using, what are the plugins we are using, and what are the versions and versions of PHP and WordPress is running, whether it may be outdated. You can find each and every detail using this tool. Let it complete here. You can see here we can also we are embedding some information here, which are headers information, interesting entries, and expowered by which leaks the version of this server. PHP version 7.4.11 is using, so it is exposing the version, and robots.txt found two entries in robots.txt. Robots.txt is also an interesting file which uh, helps helps the helps the servers to what to say to redact the URL uh, URLs which is allowed and which is not allowed. So it helps to identify the users which type of URLs can be accessed, which type of URLs which cannot be user cannot access. So this type of access will be in robots.txt. Every site has robots.txt, and you can define your own permissions in the robots.txt, and you can restrict users from manipulating the folders or files, anything else in your web service. And XML WordPress, okay, registration enabled, and what else we have here? See, this is a WordPress version 5.5.1 it is using, and it is the latest release, so it's not an issue. If suppose it is outdated and something else, you can just Google for the WordPress version, and you can find WordPress version 5.5.1 vulnerabilities, and it will show you the vulnerabilities. What are the vulnerabilities which contains in the version in that version, and you can try with that version. So you can try the vulnerabilities in that site. And what are the themes using here? What the name of the style and name of the theme and the description of the theme, and what is behind here? Plugin. What are the plugins which are using here? And similar like that, you can get all the things which are the things which the server contains, and the server what are services running, what are the plugins running, everything else. Okay, we'll move on to the PowerPoint. Okay, the next thing is port scanning, and port scan, server scan, version scan, voice fingerprinting, everything else which can be done using Nmap. So Nmap is a popular and a very powerful tool which helps for ethical hackers, pen testers, everyone, which helps to identify which type of ports running. So consider if the server is running a web server, and obviously it has port 80 and port 443 as open, because without these two ports, the server won't can't host any applications. So this is the basic idea. And using Nmap, we can also scan for the versions, which type of versions, and which type of services running. And you can also same as similar to the WordPress, you can also find the what to say. You can find the services, which type of services, and you can find the versions, and you can just simply do a Google, and using that consider if you're using FTP server, and what to say, the server name is FTPD, and FTPD version 2.2.1 vulnerabilities. So you just simply give a Google tag like this, and the Google will respond to you that this version of FTPD server has this type of vulnerabilities. You can try on with this. So you can just try on with this, and if suppose if the server is vulnerable, and you can just simply report it to this website or anything else. And last thing is IDS IPS detection, firewall detection. So that's a, you can also, same as that, you can also find detection of any what to say, if the suppose the web server is having any firewall or anything else, you can check whether using the Nmap. You can also check using the Nmap, and also you are also a tool called WAF, WAF00F, WAF. So this is also a tool which is predefined in Kali Linux. See that Kali Linux has a many wide range of tools, and not only Kali and Parrot also. So Kali and Parrot have many wide range of tools in predefined. So you don't have, to what to say, you don't have to install any tools from third party, anything else. Every tools which are using uh, what to say, some every most of the tools are considered which is a predefined in the Kali Linux itself. So you can definitely you should try for that. And next thing is the vulnerabilities. So the most top 10 vulnerabilities. These are the top 10 vulnerabilities which have every what to say every web application has. So first thing is injection attack. So injection attack may be like SQL injection attack, anything else. So SQL injection is also what to say some critical attacks. So if suppose a website is vulnerable to SQL injection attack, it may lead to data loss, or it may expose some critical informations like um, usernames and passwords. And if the website doesn't hash the password, it will be a more easy work for the hackers to get those data, and they may be selling in the dark web or d web or anything else. So this is also a critical attack. And next thing is the broken authentication. So broken authentication is that um, if you're logging into same as Amazon.in, if you're logging into Amazon.in and consider if you are closing the browser without logging out. So what should happen is that the session should be closed. If the browser window is closed, the session also should automatically have to be closed. If it is not closed, then there is an authentication problem here. So this is called as broken authentication. And sensitive data exposure. Sensitive data exposure is also a critical information, critical vulnerability, which um, exposes some critical data like admin passwords or some log files. Some web server log files may contain error logs, and it may also contains usernames and passwords of the server, and what to say some juicy information like that. So this also should be considered as a vulnerability. And external XML external entities. So in nowadays XMLs, what to say some XML is used for many data processing. So it is used like an Excel sheet, CSV files like that. So it should also be considered like that. So external vulnerability is also what to say some critical vulnerability, not critical. It's a medium level vulnerability, and it it may also leads to XML. What to say? This external entity attacks may also lead to document. What to say some document methods can be used to expose and exploit it. And it may also lead to RC attacks. Yes, it may also lead to remote code executions. So it is a most dangerous attack. Remote code execution is the most dangerous attack. So definitely you should look into that. And next thing is the broken access control. So broken access control is that what to say some same as that sensitive data exposure like that. So it should be considered as broken access controls. It should be what to say um, the control should be um, what to say it should be it is similar as the sensitive data exposure. So some juicy informations like passwords, anything else, it should not be exposed to public. And it may be what to say it should be restricted for the public to access. So that is broken access control. And the misconfiguration, it happens mostly because if suppose we are consider if you are configuring a firewall something else, like a FortiGate firewall or something anything else, we are configuring it. And if you forgot to change the default usernames and passwords, so what is the use of configuring it? So it is also a vulnerability. If you are configuring a firewall or anything else, you should definitely what to say should change the usernames and default. You should definitely change the default usernames and passwords. So, so without changing it, the if the hackers found it, and he may take advantage of it, and he may try to exploit, and he may what to say he may be try to get into systems, and and place some bugs or any malware into our systems for future usage. And XSS is also a what to say? It is also a serious vulnerability. And what this does is it helps to run scripts in our client side itself. So it helps to run scripts in our client side itself, which may be lead to some serious issues. And insecure deserialization is also an vulnerability top 10 sorry, it's also a vulnerability in top 10 list. And what this does is it also leads to some privilege escalation attacks like that. So privilege escalation attack is that if a user logs in as a guest account and he'll try to gain access to the full admin account like that. So this is called as privilege escalation. So this insecure deserialization will helps to get the privilege, will helps to done the do the privilege escalation attack. And using known vulnerable components. And what is that vulnerable component is that some applications have what to say, some inbuilt vulnerabilities like that. So consider if um, there is some video editing application which has RC enabled, which is a remote code execution enabled. And if the hackers find that, if the hackers scan your systems and find that if you are using that application, and he may try to exploit those exploit into your system and try to gain access to your system using those applications. So these vulnerable applications should definitely not be installed in your computers or any systems or anything else or servers, anything else. So if you find that any application that it is vulnerable or and what to say, if it's vulnerable or anything else, you should definitely not install that. You should definitely uninstall it. So keep in mind that. And the last thing is the insufficient logging and monitoring. So insufficient logging and monitoring is that you should monitor every traffic in your network. So if you find any suspicious traffic like mm, uh, suppose some if some anything what to say, some connection is going from your inside network to outside network. So this is it's some too suspicious IP. This should not happen in an organization. So every traffic can come from outside to inside, but from inside to outside there should be no traffic going on. If any suspicious traffic or any suspicious IP is communicating with your machine or something else, this should be noted, and the prevention action should be taken. These are top 10 vulnerabilities. So designing an attack. So how is designing an attack? So like that, similar we have seen about the top 10 vulnerabilities. So using those vulnerabilities, you have to what to say. If suppose you found that if you found in a remote code execution or an anonymous FTP login to an FTP server, you can just simply hack into the system without any effort. So it should be designing an attack. So how we are going to designing an attack? So same as like that. If you found an FTP server, you can try to what to say. You can try to log into an FTP server as anonymous. This is a security misconfiguration vulnerability. So if you configure an FTP server, definitely the anonymous login should be should be blocked or should be revoked. If it is not done, it is an security misconfiguration vulnerability. So like that, you have to design an attack. So some similar attacks like this is SQL injection. Some websites exposing their websites. Sorry, some websites exposing their data tables, some usernames and passwords, or some credit card informations, or some similar like that. So it should be avoided. Some brute forcing and passwords attack. Brute forcing. So um, if consider if you're using Facebook.com. So if you're going to Facebook.com and what brute forcing means that brute forcing means trying different usernames and password combinations and we'll try to find the exact username and password. So this we can't say that we can find the 100%, we can find 100% of those passwords, but it is what to say, we can give it a try. So it takes some similar user, it takes a list of usernames and takes a list of passwords, and will try to, and it will what the program will do is it will try to uh, search if the username is associated with the password or anything else. It will try with the different combinations, and will tell you the result, whether it found the password or not. Though this is called as brute forcing attack. And social engineering attack is also an vulnerability. So what this social engineering is does is, so what social engineering is, that is, and social engineering means, if consider if someone is from outside of an organization is trying to gain some information by manipulating, or by speaking with the person inside the network or inside the organization. So the person which from the outside, and he tells to the inside of the person that I need the source code of the and the source code of your product, and what to say, your HR told me that to work on with this project, and similar like that. If the person from outside is contacting to the organization, and pretending to be like those people which who are inside the organization, and they will try to extract the information from the people which are in the inside the organization. So this type of attack is called a social engineering attack. So the next step in the pen testing is that risk management. So as I said before, uh, every vulnerability should have those severity level. So the severity level helps to identify, helps to what to say, understand the users which type of attack is severe, and which type of attack is just a warning, or which is just an information like that. So using risk management, you can find those financial losses. Any financial losses can happen, or data privacy or data loss can happen, or a damage to infrastructure, anything can happen. So like this similar things you can predict before the hacker hacks in the system using the pen testing. And the final thing is the patch. So every vulnerability we found should be patched. So this is the main purpose we are conducting the pen testing, right? So suppose if considering the if we found any vulnerabilities in those pen testing, and we will just prepare a report and send to the client, and after that they will be reviewing that, and they will be checking that if the vulnerability exists, and if the vulnerability exists, they will patch those, and or we will help them to patch that. So this is the systematic approach of how pen testing will be done in an organization. So some similar tools for pen testing which we use, like burp suite. So burp suite is also an what to say, some quite a famous tool which can be accepted by many of these companies or organizations. And the second tool is the WASP SAP. So this is also a tool from WASP SAP, and it is similar like burp suite, and but it can also, but burp suite cannot scan for community edition. So burp suite community edition cannot scan for vulnerabilities, but WASP app can find vulnerabilities, and it can scan vulnerabilities, and it also shows us what is the prevention measures, like that. And some similar tools like nmap and zenmap. So nmap is also a tool which is accepted by most of the companies. And zenmap is also an same tool as what to say, nmap, but zenmap is a GUI tool. So nmap is a command line based tool, CLI based, but zenmap is a GUI based tool. So it has buttons and text box and everything else. You can just simply select which type of attack or which type of scan you want to do, and just simply type the host name, and select which type of scan you want to do, and just simply hit scan. It will scan, and it will be displaying the result to you. So it's as simple as that. and also Nikto and Netspacker. So these are also what to say, some vulnerability scanners which Nikto is a open source tool, and Netspacker it is a paid tool. Yes, Netspacker is a paid tool, and there is also a trial version available for that. And WAF helps for firewall testing, and WP scan for CMS scan, and SQL map. This SQL map tool helps to find what to say is database vulnerabilities in websites. So these are some tools which can be used by the pen testers, and rules to be followed. So before and after pen testing, these are main rules which should be followed by the pen testers. So as a pen tester, you should definitely have a return permission or anything else from the organization which we are going to conduct pen testing. So without the prior permission from those organization, you cannot conduct pen testing. So some organizations may accept those, but many of them don't accept, and you maybe end up in prison or something else. So you should be careful in that. And second thing is that you should not share any data from those one organization to another organization. So if you're what to say, if you're doing pen testing to company called ABC, and you finish pen testing there, and you're patched all those vulnerabilities there, and if you're going now you're going to another company called DCF like that, and you should not share those ABC details to DCF, and DCF details to ABC. So every company's data should be handled as private data. So you should not share those data between those companies or anything else. And this is the main thing. The last thing is the main thing, and you should not what to say. If suppose you are going, if you are suppose you are scanning those servers for any vulnerabilities like that, and keep in mind that it is a production server. So the servers which you are scanning is that it is currently serving something to the real world. So if what to say, if consider if the organization is hosting an web application or website something else, and you are scanning for any vulnerabilities in those servers. So scanning may what to say, may take some high amount of requests or responses. So it may slow down the servers, and the slowing down may affect the customers which are the organizations are using it. So you should be careful in that, because we are handling what to say, we are handling not profession, we are handling real time servers, and you should be aware of that. You should it may be what to say, uh, it may be similar like DOS attack. So you should be careful in that, and you should keep your request as limit. So don't use for high request, or keep it as simple as possible, and don't use high request or many number of requests in a production server. If it's a demo server or anything else, some other else, you can give any number of requests. But if it is a production server and it is serving something in a real world, you should be keeping in mind that you should limit your request, and you should scan for it. So these are things which a pen tester should follow it, and hope everyone liked your session, and thank you everyone.